Right, in studio here, we got Alex Lima, Black Belt Fitness and Martial Arts. Back to the topic at hand is when you look at online, a lot of people are moving businesses online. We talked about in yesterday's show with Diane Vance about how the trends are away from urban areas out to the suburbia America. And then, so you're seeing these trends in your business as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as of right now, per the mandates of my county and where I live, Hillsborough, we essentially cannot be open for business. And even when we are allowed, I think on the 18th or something like that, they're going to start allowing foot traffic with inside gyms and martial arts clubs throughout the county. You're still going to have to follow that, like that 6-foot rule and you know, that social distancing like bubble that they're giving everybody, which obviously in my industry is incredibly difficult to abide by because it's such an interactive thing that we participate in. We have the workouts, you know, especially like grappling, kickboxing, holding pads for each other. So I've had to become completely creative with the way that I deliver my product to my clients now with the online training. But it seems to be working. You know, I was a little nervous about it at first. Initially, I lost quite a few of my clients because some were not open-minded about jumping onto the ship of doing the online training. But now people are loving it, and now I'm training people. Dude, I have people that are training with me from the UK. Wow. From Australia. Like I have an international audience that I would not have been able to obtain before if I would have stuck to just to in-house training.
Right.
You know?
Well, kudos to you for adapting. You know, that's one of the biggest things as a business owner is being able to adapt, finding out where the trends are. And then also, I think that leads to a bigger point of, as Americans, if the more that we can collaborate, the more that we can come together, the more that we have an abundance mentality of working together, you know, and trying to support each other. Supporting, especially what we talk a lot about is supporting local businesses here in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, and we can do that on an international scale as well, obviously, but especially your local businesses, your smaller, you know, brick and mortar companies. You know, major organizations and companies are going to do, for the most part, okay throughout this whole COVID crisis that we're going through right now. It's the smaller businesses that are really struggling right now. I know personally of a gym that was open for 10 years, the last decade, up in New Jersey that just had to close down. Can you imagine building something for 10 years and then now it's gone because of this pandemic and everything that's going on? And what's that person going to do now? For the last 10 years, they have been a business owner and like a trainer. What are you going to do? Get a job at a bank now? Like
exactly, you know, just think of the self. You know, you talk a lot about, you know, the self concept and how people see themselves and view themselves. The depression rates, the suicide rates.
Oh yeah.
Gold's Gym filed Chapter 11. You know, they're reorganizing, one of the biggest, you know,
gyms ever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Sweet Tomatoes went out of business. Lots of different companies are being affected, and you know, in my opinion, you know, it's a lot of bureaucratic overreach, especially, you know.
I agree.
I can understand New York. Yes, they had a lot of deaths. They had a lot of international flights. They had a lot of public transportation. Okay, fine, shut them down. Shut New Jersey down. But to affect companies,
it's not the case
states,
everywhere.
Yeah,
right.
You can't unilaterally say every state. You know, think about the people living in you know, Wyoming and Montana. They're like, wow, we have to be shut down. And you know.
Sure, we're our country the way it is, you know, capitalism, like this system of shutting things down, you cannot sustain like this. You know, what are they going to do? You know, because right now everybody is quarantined and locked down and separated. But then what's going to happen when we reintroduce people now into the population? Our numbers are down now, but they're going to spike back up.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do? Every 2 or 3 months, you're going to shut businesses down? We can't sustain. We're not going to do this. We can't do this forever, guys.
Yeah, it's not right. If you just joined us, we're talking with Alex Lima, Black Belt Fitness and Martial Arts here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Now, over the years, I've done some training. I'm a former U.S. football player, played on the inaugural team. So many years of heavy weightlifting, heavy squats. You know, that time you get burned out when you do the same thing over and over. One of the things I like to do when I'm working out is, you know, ride the bike. I don't do as much jogging as I used to do, but I love to throw the hands, to box a little bit, learn some jiu-jitsu. So let's talk a little bit about the opportunity that people have to stay in shape, you know, have fun, but also at the same time, you're learning how to properly hold your hands, defend yourself, protect your family.
Yeah, so part of my business model, and I think what separates me from other trainers, well, other than the fact that I'm a lifelong practitioner and athlete of what I do, like I don't teach anything that I do not personally do, and what I do has won me championships on a national, state, and international level. So it's, you know, it's high level stuff. But I guess I would have to say, I guess I'm kind of semi-ADD. Like, I cannot just focus on one thing. Like, I cannot just be a weightlifter.
Yeah.
I cannot just be a boxer. I have to cross-train in order for fitness and training to maintain my interest. And that's what I preach, and that's what I teach to my clients as well. Every time you do a training session with me via online or in-house, it's always a little bit different. You're not just always going to come in, do the same little warm-up, and then get to lifting weights. Sometimes we're boxing. Sometimes we're wrestling. Well, right now we're not, but sometimes we're kickboxing. It's just it's an amazing mix, and being a mixed martial artist, that's just my mentality for everything. You have to cross train and mix, things together.
Yeah, and a lot of times when you think about from a personal self-defense example, it's a bar fight or somebody gets in your face at a sporting event. That's one thing that baffles me is how people put so much energy into if the Buccaneers win versus whatever team. It's like, do you take your life that responsible? Do you take your relationship with your wife and loved ones that But anyways, that's a good place for an example. Somebody's mad about their team losing. They want to fight. They want to have this face-to-face type of a showdown. What's kind of your tips in that space, in that position?
Well, number one is we always want to try to de-escalate. It's always going to be the better answer to walk away. Now, that being said, there are some situations that we just can't walk away from. So when that's the case, what you want to do is you want to follow what we call it's like the level of force continuum. And basically, and this is what's going to, I'm not a lawyer and I'm not giving you, I'm giving you my opinion. You do what you want with it, but don't take it as like legal advice, please. I have the benefit of I was a private security officer, and I've done some executive protection as well. I've worked with some bands. I've done some, for those that don't know what executive protection is, it's bodyguard work. And I've been a bouncer. I've been in situations where I've had to use physical force. And in order to avoid jail time and facing legalities, you want to meet the force that is coming your way. So if someone's talking garbage to you, de-escalate, walk away. It's just talk. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but it's just words at that point. Now, if someone starts getting physical with you, that's different. When someone actually puts hands on you, you do have the right to defend yourself. That being said, let's say myself, for example, someone starts attacking me. I have a degree of knowledge and training that the average person doesn't have. I can't just grab somebody and put them in intensive care. I have to meet the level of force that is coming my way. So if it's just a little bit of a shoving match, I would just maybe take that person down and just kind of use control tactics at that point. But now if this continues to escalate and we're talking about weapons and really talking about serious physical damage and or even death, well, then you have to turn up the level of force that you're utilizing.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense because if not, it's kind of like the joke that you've seen on TV or you heard about. Oh, these are weapons. These are registered weapons.
Yeah.
It's kind of in a sense it is because you're a professional. You're a champion fighter, right?
I would imagine. I don't know about. I've heard that before. Like it's amazing when you're a martial artist the type of questions and stories that people tell you. But they'll be like, dude, so are your hands registered weapons? No, they're not. But I do believe that in a court of law, a judge would look at my background and say, you have a higher level of training, just like a Navy SEAL or a well-trained Marine. I believe that that guy's going to be held to a higher standard because he has such a level of training.
Right.
He should show a little bit more of a strength than the average person.
Yep, absolutely. Well, hey, there's a good tips. When we come back, we're going to have more of our expert contributors give their best tips, their topics of advice, ranging from the AC Guy of Tampa Bay, Greg Bowman. We've got 3D Solar, David Ringo on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and Alex Lima as well, Black Belt Fitness and Martial Arts. Greg Bowman, AC Guy of Tampa Bay. Final words, sir.
Hey, Brandon. I think I would just echo that, it's definitely a different time that we're going through right now, but the stay-at-home order has definitely enforced a lot harder use of your air conditioner, a lot more use of it because you're spending a lot more time at home. So we would definitely recommend that you give your air conditioner a little love. Our VIP program is a great way to do that. We can come out, check it out. We are taking all the CDC precautions to make sure that we're not placing you at risk. Something else I ought to mention is we do have a new service we launched called Teletech. If you're concerned about having somebody come in your house but you want to have something looked at, we do have the opportunity to do video conferencing calls to look at that and address any of those kind of issues.
Hey, that's a great innovation, Greg. I like that. That's really cool, man. Awesome. David Ringo, 3D Solar.
Absolutely, man. And just like we talked about, everybody's utilities are going up and everybody's getting antsy about these bills. They're making a lot of calls. They're talking to solar people. I would just encourage you to not rush into anything. This is a major decision and major investment. You don't want to take get hurried and make a bad decision. Take your time on this decision. Make sure you understand everything. There's warranties to understand. You need to make sure the company's good. There's a lot of great companies that start up and they have great reviews and they've been here less than 6 months. I encourage you to find somebody that's been around for a long time that's got a history of being here for 5+ years. We've been here for about 10 years now, and we're not going anywhere. So we're here still servicing the clients we've had forever. But just make sure you find the right company. Find out all the details about the financing and the warranties and the company before you jump into anything. That'd be my 2 bits.
That's right. David Ringo, 3D Solar, Tampa Bay Business Journal's Fast 50 as well. All right, in studio here, Alex Lima, Black Belt Fitness.
Yeah, I think I would just kind of challenge others right now, the listeners and the viewers, to do kind of like what those kids are doing and pay it forward, with some acts of kindness. I believe that the initial panic of everything that was going on has started to kind of simmer down a little bit. People don't seem to be fighting over toilet paper and stuff anymore in the street.
Yeah.
So let's keep that going and just be overall better to each other, guys. So.
Good stuff. I like it. All right, so today I'd like to do a little bit of business and sales talks here on my lightning round tip. So today I was going to talk about Albert Mehrabian's 738-55% rule. You may have heard of it. Tony Robbins, different speakers have talked about this over the years, but it was a study that was actually done by Dr. Albert Mehrabian, and it talks about the elements of communication. Okay, 7%, the low number, only 7% of actual communication is the words spoken, the actual word. 38% is the voice tone and the way that you say those words. And the overwhelming majority, 55% of the rule of communication is the body language, the way that you use your body and evoke emotion through the body language that you're expressing. So when you're expressing those words, it's 7% words, 38% the actual voice tone, and the overwhelming majority is 55% in the body language. So think about that when you're working with clients, you're negotiating. It's going to be one that's going to help you. All right, let's do another round. Let's go back to Greg Bowman, AC Guy of Tampa Bay.
I guess the only other thing I could just echo again is, as far as indoor air quality goes, we do have some great options out there as far as what you can do to help prevent the spread of the virus. You don't typically think of your home air conditioners being something that can help with that, but there are some great products for doing that. So if you're interested in anything like that, give us a call, check us out. We'd be glad to give you any advice or insight that we can.
All right, good stuff. AC Guy of Tampa Bay, Greg Bowman. All right, David Ringo, 3D Solar.
One thing I would say is, we're all about reducing electric costs and so on, but I would encourage you to do everything you can to lower your electric bill. We have people that have like $800 electric bills, and we can offset that. But man, I'd rather have some of them talk to the AC guy, Tampa, and see what they can do about getting new air conditioning first. Because if we get rid of that $800 electric bill and then they go and reduce some of their other costs and they get insulation and they get an AC unit, now they're making too much solar power and it's not going to be beneficial to them. So I would encourage, if you got a massive bill, talk to us, that's fine. Talk to other solar companies, but talk to them about, ask them what else you can do to get that home, energy efficient. And one other thing I would say is loans are expensive, and a lot of people talk about cash and they don't have the cash to do that. But I would encourage you to consider a HELOC or something along those lines of figuring out a way of paying for it to get the payments down, because the financing is great for an extended period of time, but man, there's other options out there too. So don't be afraid of looking into HELOCs or something like that to be an alternative source, which would be cheaper than some of the loans they have out there.
Yeah, home equity line of credit is what David Ringo is referring to, and you can access that through, it's kind of a second mortgage if you have a first mortgage in place, and it's a low risk for the bank because they're attaching it to your home as the collateral, so you can get home equity lines of credit at very low rates nowadays as well. Reach out. We'd love to connect you with Diane Vance and her team that can help with that. All right, Alex Lima, final words.
Yeah, so my second challenge I would initial towards the listeners and viewers would be follow me on a fitness journey. Let's work on some gains and some improvements. Right now, I'm currently doing a 90-day challenge myself to actually increase lean mass on my body. I'm trying to gain 8 to 10 pounds
Nice.
of lean mass. I was supposed to do a fight March 28th, and obviously it got canceled because of the whole COVID thing. So I had to lose weight for that. So I kind of lost weight for no reason. But so now I'm trying to get it back up, and I'm trying to do it the right way. And I'm taking my clients on the journey along with me. So
Nice. I like that. So if you wanted to add lean mass, what's some of the quick tips? I know there's a lot there, but more calories, working out.
it's got to be quality calories, though. A lot of
Right.
times people, the old school mentality of doing like the bodybuilder thing of like you're always initially either in like a bulking cycle or a cutting cycle.
Right.
I'm trying to bulk up while staying relatively lean.
Right, and healthy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Because I still have to perform at a high level because I do plan on still competing. So, hit me up on Instagram at @blackbelt_, jitsu, and I'll give you guys some tips. There's a lot of tips on my page there. So.
Yeah, some good tips there, and doing a great job as well with the beard
struggle.
Beard struggle.
Yeah, man, the beard struggle.
Nice.
Check them out. Code BlackBelt15 gets you 15% off all products at the beard struggle. So your beard can be strong as well as your body if you ride with me. So
There you go. All right, good stuff. Hey, another great show. I want to thank Greg Bowman, the AC guy of Tampa Bay. Think about your indoor air quality and also their VIP program. David Ringo, 3D Solar. Hey, another great show. Appreciate you bringing that information. Check out his podcast as well, Solar Power Hour. And Alex Lima, Black Belt Fitness and Martial Arts here. And we want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Pack up some food or clothing, hand it to that person that you see in need. Be a force for good in the community. And we'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And check out consumerqb.com.
Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time.